Hi guys, happy Friday evening. It is date night at Essential Stencil page with Cheers to Creativity. So I'm Tammy with Cheers to Creativity, and my sweet, better half is over on the other side helping us out tonight. So we're happy you're here. I'm going to be painting some things for you to make it easier to sing along in the rain. So I had a lot of fun painting on an umbrella yesterday for National Umbrella Day. And I just kind of got carried away. I started adding flowers and butterflies. And hey, what better thing to share with you than some butterflies and flowers for Essential Stencil. So we're going to get started in just a second. I want to take a minute to let you know that Essential Stencil gives away 3 sets of stencils during our live. The way you qualify for those is to say hi, let us know where you're watching from, tell us you like something, ask us a question. I do my best to watch for questions during our live, and that's why I have my helper over there as well. And I always go back afterwards. It's kind of like my hour afterwards. I'm sitting there going through questions and statements. So I love when you comment. Thank you so much. We adore when you sprinkle or be a honey. What else do I tell you? Oh, so you can make sure you're going to the Essential Stencil page, sorry. They have their winter clearance sale going on, and you can save up to 40%. That's a good deal. And you can use my ambassador code CHEERS, and you get an additional 10% off. I see you guys popping on. I see Charlene and Patricia. Oh, you guys are coming in fast and furious. And Mary, thank you so much. I love when you scatter the love, too. That's awesome. So I painted this last night on my page, and it actually has, I'll see if I can get them off without killing everything. So this was actually the puddle jumper. There he goes. You can pop over to Cheers to Creativity and check that video out. But I then started adding flowers. Aren't they cute? Even going to show you how I did the raindrops and the butterfly. And we go around to some more raindrops. And then there's the tulips. Now the flowers were from a stencil from March of 2020 in the Stencil of the Month Club. But the really cool thing about the Stencil of the Month Club is once you join, you have the ability to shop the club, which is sometimes exclusive, different new designs, and sometimes sit, boo-boo. Okay. And sometimes it's just being able to go back and look at past designs. And they're all fabulous. The great thing with Stencil of the Month Club is they're exclusive. They don't show up on the regular EssentialStencil.com page. They don't show up somewhere else. They are exclusive to that club. And it's awesome. If you've not checked it out, I encourage you to just go and see what it's all about. Again, you can use Cheers and you can get 50% off your first month, which is really cool. That's only good for the actual stencils, not for the add-on, and not for shipping and handling. What am I saying? Shipping. You know what I'm saying. Anyhow. Hi guys, good to see you. Isn't the umbrella cute? Yeah, you guys all know that I do a lot of hand painting too. So I'm gonna see if I can just flip this way for just a second. So that's one of the hand painted ones that I have as one of my classes coming up. And I might add a flower or two in with our stenciling too. I like mixing it up, but there's nothing wrong with just sticking to straight stencils. And the fun thing about the flowers, when we get to those, and even with the butterflies, you can make them as simplistic as you want. You literally can just do the outline of the butterfly and be done. It's great. You're going to have color coming through from your umbrella. With the flowers, it can just be one color, or you can get creative and add some shading and highlighting. That's just kind of what makes it fun. What I did tonight, just so you guys know I kind of do a lot of different steps. So I put it back into a PDF, and if you want it, I think Alice put the link link to it. How would we? The link. In the comments. Yeah. Anyhow, you can get it. It's just I'm just listed the steps I'm hoping to do. I don't always stay on track. Just telling you. Squirrel. So, but I am going to get started with this. So I'm going to put you down. I'm going to make sure we're at the right angles and such. so we can get started. I want to show you the umbrella. I also wanted to show you using the butterfly on this cute little trinket tray. This tray, you can do a trinket tray out of anything. It can be a little wooden tray. This one actually happens to be one from Dollar Tree. But wouldn't it going to be cute just to sit there to throw your keys on or whatnot? So I'm actually probably going to start with that. We'll see. But let's get you down. Thank you again so much for being here. We adore our fans, and we really appreciate when you help us out by sprinkling a little bit. Okay, let's push you down. I'm going to make sure, see that? Make sure the right side up and everything else. Boop, excuse me as I reach across you. So I want to show you the background of this first, just so it can dry. And I'm moving this off to the side. I'm going to see if I can pull you up on my iPad so I can watch for some comments there as well. Look, there we are. Yay. So again, just a Dollar Tree tray. And the only thing I did to it is I wiped it down with alcohol, rubbing alcohol, just to make sure it was clean, because I know I've moved it around several times, so it's gotten lots of my little handprints on it. And I just wanted it to be a light, soft background. So that is Hauser Green Medium. Excuse my dirty plate. And a little bit of light ivory that I don't have. Hang on. It's all good. And, really, we're good. You could just base coat this a solid color if you wanted to. Apparently we can't base coat it with light ivory because there's something clogging it, but that's okay. We don't need much. We're good. And I also added in a little bit of a shimmer color. I picked up some dazzling metallic white pearl. Wow. Okay, there. Good. And all I'm going to use is a sponge. This is just an inexpensive, like, householdy sponge. I'm going to kind of mix those colors together. You can, it's optional. Whenever you're using a really slick surface, sometimes adding all-purpose sealer to them can help bond it a tiny bit better to a slick surface. It's not always necessary, but I've got it here. Let's go ahead and add it. So all I'm really doing is kind of making this lightish green. And I'm just going to sponge it on. I'm being kind of careful right around my edges. I'm doing this first so it can dry, so when I go to do the project, it's dry. And even though it's got that little bit of etching in it, by the time I sponge this on, you don't really see that. And if I want to see a little more of the green, I can pick up just a touch more, just the straight green. So I have a little more of the mottled color. So what are you guys all up to on this Friday night before Valentine's? Aren't we all supposed to be out? This is our date night. We are spending our Friday night date night with you. And I couldn't be happier. All right, so I'm just sponging. And if I get a little up on the edge, it's not a problem. It's not dry. I can wipe it off my finger with a Q-tip. So that's it. We're just going to set that aside and let it dry so we can add our butterfly and our cute little saying on it later. Not much to that. So I'm just throwing that sponge in some water so it doesn't become hard. And we'll get back to adding the pretty butterfly and any inspirational saying at all, or maybe it's a name you put on them. All right. This is an umbrella. Underneath my umbrella is an ironing board. This was my husband's brilliant idea, and it worked fabulously because I needed to have something firm underneath when I'm stenciling, but I really didn't, I don't know. It was just kind of challenging. I think I was using my knee for part of it, and that was probably not the best option. So all I've done so far, oh, and on my ironing board, I've actually put down a little freezer paper with the idea that should I go through, I'm not going through onto my ironing board. I'm kind of protecting it a tiny bit. So here's one of the stencils that I'm going to use, and it's out of the 3-pack, which is actually a 4-pack because there's a bonus, of the butterfly silhouettes. I've had a lot of fun playing with the butterfly silhouettes. Here's one of them, and I let just what fit on this little stone coaster. These are things you can pick up just at your hardware store, like or home improvement store, Home Depot, Menards, whatever you have around you. And on the coasters, I tend to like to use fusion paint because they don't need a sealer. But you could probably just use regular paint as well. I played a little bit just with playing with the background, but look how fun they are to add some of those rub-on transfers that we have too. And some of those are on great sale right now. So make sure you're checking that out. No time better to save. And then when you can add cheers on top of it and save even more. Winner, 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 winner. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the way I do this. It's not the only way. I'm going to be using fabric paint. I'm using DecoArt's fabric paint. So what it needs is already in the paint. I don't have to add anything to it. You can use regular acrylic paint and just add fabric medium. There's lots of brands, and you always want to check your manufacturer's instructions. This one is about 50-50 that you're supposed to add the regular paint and the fabric medium to. Yes, you could just use regular acrylic paint as well. What I feel the fabric paint does is gives me a little more, makes the paint a little more flexible. Now, and many times we heat set it. I'm not going to heat set my umbrella for various reasons.
You can do it without a blow dryer.
You can hit it with a blow dryer a little bit, or that would probably, or a heat gun, but I'd be very careful not to leave it on too long or it could melt. You'll see another item later that we threw in the dryer to get rid of the wrinkles. All right, making sure I've got some paper towels or something so I can offload. So I'm going to load my brush with this fabric paint. This is black fabric paint, and I want to work it into my bristles very well, but I do not want to put it directly on my surface, any surface. So I'm going to offload it, and I'm actually going to offload a little bit onto my paper towel as well. I strongly suggest that you tape down your stencil as well as your umbrella to your surface. And I tell you that possibly because I didn't tape one down and it may have moved. So I've got this taped down. I know there's something firm underneath my stencil and my fabric. Here's my brush, and I was just kind of using a swirly motion. Depending on how detailed your stencils are, sometimes more of an up and down pouncing motion can be a better option. You'll find what works best for you. I use a combination. I love the Essential Stencil brushes. It's what I use most of the time, but I will occasionally use makeup sponges as well. This is one of the projects that I will tell you is going to take you a little patience and a little grace. That it's not quick, one, done. You're not going to do this or these patterns on an umbrella and do 5 of them at a time and have them done in 5 minutes. It's just not going to happen. All right, so you can peek first if you need to. But I've got this nice outline for my butterfly. Would not have thought of stencils on this. Okay, so you know what? Hey, that's why we're here. So I'm going to move this, I'm just removing the tape for a sec. And I want to show you that what we're going to do with the next step is we're going to fill in the open spaces with white. Now I did one just so we could deal with dry time a little better. Of course I chose one that's way up here. That's okay.
You've already filled that one in.
I filled this one in with white. I'm going to make it wet again. But I just want you to see, even that is a nice pop of color on a regular umbrella. So I want to turn this guy so when I get to him, hang on, turning. All right, sit, Ubu.
That is not in the camera shot.
No. I just turned the other umbrella. We'll get back to it, but I wanted to do it before I forgot. All right, so because I would be doing this again on my other outlines, I would wrap this in just a damp paper towel, something like this, in between uses if I needed to, and I'll probably need this brush again, so let's do that. So I just use a damp paper towel, and I just wrap it in here so it doesn't dry out completely, but I'm not making it wet. That makes sense. All right. Okay, so I filled this in with some white. I'm going to grab a couple colors. I'm not sure I'm loving the rainbow umbrella, but we're going to make it work. But with it being blue behind me, I've got to kind of think a little bit, what colors would that be? But I think it'll work okay to have, let's maybe we'll make most of this guy pinks and purples. So I'm going to grab a little red, grab a little blue. Hey, and fabric paints have come a long way. You can now actually get like glitter for your fabric paints. We're not going to add glitter to this guy today. I'm going to leave glitter out of the loop today. I'm going to find my white. Okay. And I just fill this in with a little brush. Whatever brush feels right for you. A little round, a little filbert. Don't know where the little filbert is that I used, but we're going to use this one instead. And I'm going to go ahead and put the white back on. Can we see that okay? So it's just a little wet. Dip, 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 dip. I'm leaving the black. This may be the one that I moved things on. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not a perfectionist by any means. But all I did is fill in those spots with some white. And whether you use the same brush or you choose to go to a little bit of a smaller brush, I'm going to mix me up some pink. So red, white, we have pink. I'm going to start on the outer part of each part of this butterfly and just pull it about halfway. Still staying on that white. It just helps it blend a little easier when you have a wet paint underneath it. You wouldn't have to do it that way. That's the way I'm doing it tonight. I'm just taking up a little pink and I'm pulling from the outer edge of each of those sections in about halfway. Go ahead and look at different, oops, that got very red, that's okay. Butterflies for inspiration for color. I tend to think a lot of butterflies being the monarch colors of the yellows and oranges. I'm going to pull just a little bit straight red on top of that pink. So I've got a couple different colors showing up here. Can we see this okay, Al?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
I mean, it's a little far away, but it's once you get it done, you can pull it up a little closer.
I'll get you guys closer yet. So I've just pulled in some pinks. Let's see if I can bring you down a little. Does that help? A little bit?
Yeah.
Not really.
It's a little something.
All right, there we are.
Just waiting for live signal.
There we go. We're back.
There we go.
Okay, sorry guys. I hit the wrong button. All right, so I've done that with the pink. I'm just going to rinse my brush. And I'm going to make a purple. Am I going to make a purple? Yeah. So I've got blue and red. And I made purple. See, it's purple. I'm going to pull a little purple from the inside and pull toward my, about halfway up. So I've got pink and purple on this butterfly.
I'm just going to do this real quick and see if I can give them a little bit better shot.
A little closer, yeah, we might need to adjust. So I'm just pulling a little purple in. Now, I might need to come back and clean up a couple little areas in between.
Sorry, guys. Relax. No, we're good. We're good.
Sorry, guys.
Trying to get you a little bit closer. One of the hinges was loose. You just can't see it with your hand there, that's all.
All right, sorry. A little purple
Do it from the
here.
other side.
Hmm?
You're gonna paint it, you gotta do it from the other side, from the front of it.
Okay, so I've got some purples on there, and if I need to, I can come back and add, clean up any of those little areas with the black. I'm just gonna move this. I'm gonna go back to the one we just put on. And then we're gonna do some flowers. So you're gonna have to be a little patient with maneuvering your umbrella, especially if you want design all the way around. So this is the guy we just did. And so I'll do the white first. The pink and purple were fun, weren't they? So this is just the straight white. This is probably I feel this was the easiest one to mess a little bit with. Maybe because it has more of the black on the outer edge of it. I'm trying to keep my hand out of here. Just filling it in with the white first. What the white does more than anything is it allows the colors that I put on top of it to be true. Meaning they're going to be pink or purple or yellow and orange, not whatever yellow and purple become. Because some of that background color still shows through. It's a different surface to play on. But why not have a fun umbrella if you're going to have to be out in the rain? That's my theory. And actually, I've done umbrellas many years ago too. So it's kind of like what goes around comes around. The little puddle jumper that I showed you was actually something I designed many, many years ago. I just kind of like
If you can paint from the front of the umbrella instead of the side, because your hand's blocking everything you're doing.
the front. This way?
You know, get all the way in front of the umbrella so you're sort of in front of the camera.
This way?
There we go.
Well, then I can't get to the... Then you're definitely going to see my arm. How about that?
Yeah, keep going, keep trying.
This is not easy. Are you seeing things better? See, I'm in front of them then. Now, I wonder if I come back this way. Oops. All right. How about there?
There. No, a couple seconds behind you, but yes. There we go. That's where I was trying to get you to go.
All right. Sorry, guys. Sometimes you just don't know until you start messing with this what the camera sees.
Yeah. No, we're not at our normal table with our normal setup.
Yeah.
So.
Ironing boards are not my normal thing to be painting. So I appreciate your grace and understanding. What are you guys thinking so far? Is this something that you might want to try? Okay, so all I've done is put in the white. A little bit of white. And it's not even very good. I mean, it's kind of blotchy. But that's okay. I'm going to wipe off my, I didn't even clean my brush, I just wiped it off. What kind of brush are you using with the white? This is a very abused brush, but it does appear that this was originally a DecoArt brush. I do like DecoArt brushes very much. You can get them directly from decoart.com. I'm also a royal brush person, so I like those a lot also. So just like I showed you with the pink and the purple, I'm going to And it doesn't matter if I go from the top down or the bottom up. I just want to mirror. So if I'm going to do the top of this guy coming down, pulling in with my white, see how that kind of blends while it's still wet? I want to do that on the other side the same way, because butterflies mirror their wings. Whatever you see on one side, you'll see on the other. So I'll pull this about halfway down. So the butterfly stencils are just the silhouettes of them. And on the ones that are more coming this way, I'm going to pull it from the outside in. So it's not up and down, it's more side to side. Is this helping a little bit with the angle? Yeah.
Yes, you're fine, yeah. Like you said, it doesn't have to be perfect. You want it to be a little.
I mean, yes, it's stenciled, but it's also hand painted. So I've wiped my brush off with my paper towel. I didn't even clean it really. I'm now going into the yellow, and I'm going to go the opposite way. So we'll meet in the middle. You could do this with a flat brush and put yellow on one side and orange on the other. That's just a little trickier way to paint it. So I just thought I would show you just using a little round brush and pulling the colors together. And you can decide if it might need to go back and have more of one color or the other. And they blend together. Just try to make them mirror each other.
Somebody asked if you have. Lost it. Do you have a visual for your butterflies?
Do I have a visual for my butterflies? Not sure what we're... How did I come up with this idea? Is that what we're kind of saying? I'm just gonna add a little yellow.
I don't know.
I'm not quite sure. I mean, a monarch butterfly is orange and yellows mostly, so that's kind of where these came from. I'm gonna come back and add just a little darker orange up on the top of this one. Pull it in. I would suggest looking at places like Pinterest. Just go into Pinterest and say butterflies.
Does the PDF have the butterfly instructions, or is that?
Yep.
So,
There is a picture of the butterfly that I did on the blue umbrella behind me. I'm going to pull that one up next and show it to you in just a second. Whoops.
I'll put it in the comments again.
Chafing this down, I'm going to show you. This is the PDF. It kind of just has the links to all the stencils I used and the stencil brushes. And then I just kind of go in and give you a couple of quick pictures of the flowers and how I did them. And there's a picture for the butterfly right above where it says butterfly on the one that you'll get. I added it once I realized I forgot it. Yeah, so the link just sends you to a PDF that you can download and get this. I just know that I sometimes move quickly. So this one I did a little differently. Did this one more with a flat brush, but it's the same idea. Am I in there yet? The yellow and the orange just kind of blend together. Turning the right way.
You're good. Just
Trying to turn.
towards the center a little bit. There you go.
There we go. So yeah, kind of that no two are ever alike, which I like, you may not. Hang on, I gotta put my umbrella back. All right, so I'm gonna fill in the other umbrella, the other ones as we go. But for right now, I think I'm gonna come back over here and let's start here. I'm gonna add a couple flowers on this one, okay? Oops. And taping my umbrella to my ironing board. So if you don't like to iron, here's something else you can do. The butterfly is a stencil. It is an essential stencil. It is this 3-pack that actually has a bonus in it of I like to call them dancing butterflies. So this is the bonus in that one as well. And if we have time, we might have a little project to do with that too. I'm going to show it to you just real quick like. I used this stencil and I did them on this set of rain boots. Now, it would be easier to do something like this on a neutral color. But I just figured if I was going to try rain boots, I would try them on something that I might be able to give to my granddaughter. So that's kind of my hope, that they work out and that they fit her.
Whose idea was that?
That was my husband's idea. He's pretty smart. Okay, so got this nailed down here. I told you that the flowers that I'm going to use are from March 2020. It is actually the set that I used the jar from last Friday, the one that looks like it's in the bees here. But this is a fun set. Again, it's from March 2020 in the Stencil of the Month Club. So you've got the watering can, the jar, and the flowers, and then the other stencil had some of the wording on it. So, well, here's the others. So, and this one even has some fun little outlines of some butterflies and bees and dragonflies. And a little ladybug. How cute is that? How cute is that? So really a very, very versatile set, especially for spring. And if you are trying it for the first time, you can use Cheers and get a good discount, 50% off. All right, so here's the thing about this stencil. You're gonna have to be patient. You're gonna have to give yourself some grace. You're gonna need to give a little time. And I chose to put my flower heads on several before I came back and did my leaves. That doesn't mean that's how you have to do it, but that's kind of how I chose to do it. I'm gonna show you the tulips here real quick, hopefully. Hey, umbrellas are not easy, guys. I'm hoping we can see those. Give me just a sec. Do we see our tulips?
Yeah.
Okay.
To the right a little bit.
To
Your other right.
my other right,
Your other right.
this way.
No, there we go.
There.
The other way. There. Yeah, there. Good, good, good.
Okay, so we got some tulips. Let's just let this down on the side right now. Okay, so I'm gonna do a couple tulips. And these are kind of the leaves I added to them, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna do a couple tulips at a couple different levels. I am going to go ahead and use a sponge for this, more because I'm gonna be doing a lot of different colors than anything else. Now, this has been a well-loved stencil, so I have to be a little kind when I'm using it. Do look when you get your stencils at how they have them pictured, because it does kind of make a difference on something like the flower stencils, that they lay the best that way. So let's start with, I'm picking up some white, and I'm gonna pick up a little red, and I'm gonna make kind of the light pink. Okay. I'm offloading, and I'm gonna offload on my paper towel as well, and I'm gonna hold this down, and I'm gonna stencil my tulip. I did find that you could hit them with a blow dryer real quick so they dried a little faster. Because I've offloaded, it is not very wet at all. It does not take long at all for it to dry. But if you wanted to hit it really quickly with the cool setting on a blow dryer, you could do that too. It's not going to take but a minute. And I did that just so I could give it a second coat.
They said they did a lampshade a few weeks ago.
Oh, I think Melissa did that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I saw that, yeah. You know, there's all sorts of things we can stencil on. And if you ever aren't sure how it's gonna work, hit your Goodwill up and see how what you can find. All right, so we can see that one, and it's already almost dry. Now, I caution you to always check the back side of your stencil if you're going to be using that same stencil again right away. I want to make sure that I am doing this on a surface. You should tape it down. It's a little more challenging when it's all over, so I'm actually just going to use those leaves to help tape it down a little bit. So I'm going to pick up another color. You can either pick up another sponge, or I like to just snip them off. Okay, so let's make kind of a, I don't know, I'm making sure it's down there, okay? I think we'll do kind of a purpley one too. So that would be that blue color and a little red together. Blue and red make purple. And I am going to add a little bit of white. I've kind of got those colors. I'm pouncing it off on my paper towel, hanging on to my stencil. Am I in the way again? I need to peek and see if it's dark enough. That's actually pretty good. I don't think that's going to need a second coat. Let's lift it off. What do you think? Again, I'm going to check my backside to make sure I don't have anything leaking through there.
Somebody asked if this is going to wash off in the rain.
I'm using fabric paint that you normally would heat set, but have you ever gotten paint on your clothes? Have you ever gotten paint on your gloves? It doesn't come off real easily. This has not been rain tested. I do know the other umbrellas that I had done with fabric paint in the past have always held up well, so it is not my intention that they're going to rub off.
You could put a t-shirt over it and then heat set it with an iron, just not super high heat.
Right, right. You could use a t-shirt. I would use like a white t-shirt or even parchment paper and lay it down and just a medium iron and just what you don't want to do is melt the actual umbrella. And I think it goes without saying that you can't throw it in the dryer to heat set this one. But I'm going to say it anyhow. Okay, so if I went straight yellow on this, what happens when you mix yellow with blue? It turns green. So we're going to go straight white first. I'm going to find my straight white. Like I said, this is not a really fast project. And I probably really rushed the first ones I did. But I'm going to go ahead and just do this with white. I know, I'm supposed to not be in front of you. I keep forgetting that. Sorry, guys. I'm keeping it really dry.
Somebody asked, where is the flower, stem, and leaf stencil?
The flower and the leaves that I'm using with this are from March 2020 in the club of the Stencil of the Month Club. You can shop the club when you are a member of the Stencil of the Month Club. There are other flowers that we could use. Look at the ones that just came out, the tall ones that we used, some of them in the jar we did last week, or there's flowers all over with other stencils. So think of different ways you can use your stencils. I also think that would be very pretty. Oh, I moved them. I'll grab them for me because they're right in the corner there. The big flowers that there's a 3-pack of, it's right in the corner underneath those black pieces of paper. I think those would be pretty to just do really big flowers with on an umbrella or something like that. This is the one that has, it's kind of like a zinnia and a rose and a sunflower. So I think that could be really pretty. It'd probably go a lot quicker because you're doing such big flowers. Okay, so I hit that with a blow dryer just super quick. I'm now going back over this particular one with yellow. Now, if I wanted to do a little bit of shading with that same sponge, I could pick up a little bit of orange and maybe just add a little orange just on the bottom. I'm a big tulip fan. I love tulips. But see how that adding a little bit of orange there can do to that? Let me see if I can get you a little closer. Closer? I think so.
That's good.
All right. All right. So you wanted to see leaves. I do want to tell you that there's all sorts of leaf shapes that you can use. Or if you are somebody that would prefer to just grab a brush and do a little hand painting, you can do that as well. I'm going to do both. I'm going to do this guy right here. I don't know if it's a girl or a guy. And I'm going to kind of line up. There's part of my flower right there, but that's okay. I'm just going to pivot it, or I'll just stop before I get there. And I'm going to pick up a green. This is actually called Christmas green. We know it's not Christmas. It's okay. And I'm going to grab a sponge, and I'm going to go right into that green. I'm tapping it off on my plate. I'm tapping it off on my paper towel. I think there might have been a little white in that brush, that sponge, but it's okay. And I'm just going to stop before I get to my flower. I'm going to peek and see if I can see that okay. That's pretty good. I might need a little darker green. Okay, so I'm going to pull that off so you can see what those leaves look like. They kind of look like leaves on a tulip. Okay, I'm going to show you. I really don't feel like that's very stable. Hang on, guys. I'm going to move the table a little closer because I just felt like that was going to fall. I didn't need it to fall. Okay, so just to show you, I'm going to grab a brush. This is just a little filbert brush. Doesn't really matter. I'm pulling my paint on both sides so I have a nice little chisel edge. And I'm just going to go straight down. And then I'm going to set my brush down and pull it to a point. Do the same up here. I'm going to push down. I'm going to pull it to a point. So if you're more of a freehand painter, you can just do that, or you can just add a couple little bits of grass down here. I hate things that just float in midair. I'll have to come back and add it where the tape is. And I'm going to pull that green down to make a stem for this guy, girl, whatever. And I'm just going to set my brush down and pull it up. Set this brush down and pull it up. I like mixing hand painting with stenciling. Butterflies can be any color you want them to be. All right, I just had to rinse that brush out because it was getting a little something. So let's just take a quick peek real quick here. We did the little tulips. Oh, let me, before it drives me nuts. Can't have things that are floating. It just can't. So I'm just putting a little bit of ground underneath my tulips. We all have our little things. So there's the one we did with just the purples and the pinks. And I could come back and add more flowers here if I want. Here's our orange and yellow guy. And this one, because it's so dark, I think I'm going to do just a quick little, hang on, stay. I'm going to rinse that brush I just had with green. I'm going to grab that round brush I used for something else. This is what we were using to fill in the butterflies. I'm going to pick up some white paint, and I'm going to push down and pull toward a center. I'm going to push down, pull toward center. Push down, pull toward center. I'm going to do this all the way around, And it's not even really going to look like a daisy. It's going to just be kind of a petally flower.
Okay, hon, can you get in front of the
Oops.
umbrella again?
Sorry, guys. So I'm just pushing down, pulling toward the middle,
Yeah, right, yeah.
pushing down, pulling toward the middle. All right. Now that I've pushed down and pulled toward the middle and got out of the way, I'm going to pick up a little bit of yellow. If I can find a little yellow. I just wiped off my brush, picking up that little bit of yellow, and I'm just going to swirl it in the middle. Nothing fancy, just adding a little bit of a hand-painted flower with this. So we'll give it a little stem as well. Get in front. I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to swirl that stem down like it's going toward the ground. I have to pick up a little more paint to do that. And then I'm going to set my brush down and pull up. Set my brush down and pull up. So I've got this little daisy-ish flower. I'm going to add a couple other real quick ones. What do we?
746.
746? Okay. I'm going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to pick up a real scruffy brush like this. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this red and a little bit of this white and mix it together and make pink. And I'm going to start about here and just start tapping to make the shape of one of those kind of coney looking flowers. It's bigger on the bottom. It gets spikier at the top. Got one more and do one this way. Maybe we'll clean that quick and pick up just some yellow and go in between them. And to give them a couple little leaves, I'm going to grab a flat brush. It's a little bigger. Just picking up some greens. And I'm just going to come up in between there. So I've got a little bit of green at the bottom. All right. So you can have a lot of fun with a lot of different flowers. With the stencils, you can add some of your own flowers with a little hand painting. We're going to grab a little orange here, and I'm going to make a little circle. Pick up some white, circle around it. Use the end of my brush. Make some little dots. And just make sure I add a couple little leaves next to that flower too. All right, I want to show you the little tray that I started to show you before. So I'm going to set our umbrella aside just a moment. There's our orange and yellow one. When you do get your umbrella painted, you do want to let it dry overnight. Just let it hang out in your foyer. Where did I put the tray? Here it is. So here is my tray. And I'm going to grab the stencil I use. I can't find. So much for being prepared. Here they are. So I'm going to grab this guy, just a different one. I'm going to set him down. I decided to use some metallic paint on this, just so it had a little more of a shimmer. You can use straight paint, but this is Deco Art's Dazzling Metallics, and I'm going to do the butterfly in the zinc color. I'm just picking up a brush, going to load my paint, going to offload, and I'm going to offload on my paper towel as well. And because I've got these sides, I may have to hold it down in places. What happened here? Where does that go? Oh, it goes there. All right, so we're just going to swirl. This is for the outline of my pretty little butterfly. You can use a sponge as well. It's really what you like. And everybody has a little bit of a different pressure that they use. We're doing, we got it. Yep, we got a little too wet here. We'll be okay. We can fix it. We can fix that. So I've just got my outline. I did get a little bleed here, but I can fix that when I come back with my white metallic and fill in the color. So also when Q-tips come in handy. You can clean it up a little bit right there. That was because it was too wet. That's why you always, 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 always offload. Always. So this is the white pearl. And I am just going to fill it in like I showed you with the other one, just so I have a little bit of a lighter shade for my pinks and purples to blend into. Need to make sure your little outline is dry. I'm picking up a little bit of the gray. It's okay. It's okay. It just means it's going to be slightly different colors than my other one. I don't care. Get this filled in quick like. And we will add the color to our butterfly and add the detail. And I'm going to have my sweet husband bring me my rain slicker I didn't get to. Not quite yet. Okay. You can see that it's got this little shimmer. It's not a lot of color, but it's just enough to add a little something. So then I'm going to pick up a couple more dazzling metallic colors. This is berry. And the other color I'm going to use is called amethyst. It's a purple. So just like I did on the umbrella, I'm going to pick one side that I'm going to pull the berry toward my center. And it lightens up a little bit because there's that white underneath it. I think little surfaces like this are fun to play around with because they don't cost you much. Although they cost you 25% more than they did this time last year. Since it's now not the Dollar Tree, it's...
They said, why did you do the background also?
Why did I? I just kind of liked it to have a little bit of background. It wouldn't have to. You could leave it all silver.
Somebody gave you a 10 for tonight. Thanks, Sandy.
I appreciate that. And if it doesn't move, if it gets too dark, then we can always pull a little of that white back in to make it move a little more. Almost got this done. And then we'll come back with the purple coming back from the center out. Wipe my brush, pick up some purple. And it doesn't have to be all filled in. I have a hair from a brush in there I'm going to have to remove. So you're using the silhouettes more as an outline, kind of like I did when I did the flowers not too long ago, and you saw that I used them as the outline and I filled them in with some color. But they can be very pretty. I'm going to have to watch all your comments when I get done. I haven't been able to watch any of them, but I do appreciate that you're here. We love when you sprinkle or scatter or share. Remember, the sale's going on still, and you can get an additional 10% off if you use Cheers. I'm sure Hubs has put that in there for us. And I'm going to use one of the inspirational stencils, the Choose Joy. I'm just going to set it down. Because I used very little paint, even on my brush, when I was using my brush, I did not have much paint in there at all. I'm trying to get this hair off of here. Every once in a while we'll have a hair that comes through. So I'm just going to lay that down. And I'm going to use a darker green. I'm going to use dark Hauser green for the words, except for my little flower. I'm going to come back and do that with the purple and the amethyst and the berry color. So let me just grab a little sponge. You could do this with a brush very easily too. And just grab this, I'm going to offload it. I'm going to hang on to Choose Joy. Remember, they will pick 3 winners at the end here that we're getting very close to. And I will announce those in just a couple minutes. If by chance this is replay for you, be sure to hashtag replay, because Essential Stencil does come back in 24 hours and gives another set of stencils to a replay winner. How fun is that? That you don't have to be here live. We love when you are, but you don't have to be. I just ran out of paint, guys. Need a little more paint to figure this out. Okay, so I've got my Choose Joy. Then I'm going to grab a tiny little sponge and use the...
Love your nails too.
Aren't they fun? I'm going to use the amethyst and go around my flower. These are straight acrylic paints. They're just metallic. They're not a fabric paint. They're just the regular paints. And then I'm going to grab a gold. This is splendid gold. Any gold is just to fill in my little center of my flower. If I can get paint out, that would be good. All right. So we've got it all stenciled. And what I want to do is to come back with that little round brush and some white and berry. So the metallic white and a little berry, so making a lighter color. I'm going to fill in my little petals with the white and the berry. A little more berry color. Okay. So I've filled that in just like this. I'm going to wipe it off. I'm going to fill in that center with the gold I just used. Rinse that real quick like. And just with the same brush, I'm going to go back with some straight purple amethyst and pull a couple little vein lines in each of the little petals.
Is that a pansy?
It is whatever flower you want it to be.
No. Pansy, jumping jack, I don't know.
I say it's a Friday night special flower. And I'm going to use just the tip of my brush, and I'm just going to tap some little dots around the center. And you've got a little trinket tray. I would let this dry completely and give it a coat of whatever you like to use as a protective finish. I tend to use polyacrylic, but you can use whatever you like. I want to show you just real quick another idea. We're not going to do it, but don't forget that when you go out in the rain, you need a rain slicker. So I've put the butterflies on here, again with the fabric paint, and I will go back and fill them in just like I did with the umbrella. So let's throw that off to the side. Let me put you up. Did you like that? Something different, huh? And remember that, try to do the little boots too. I think those are super, super cute. So I gotta grab my iPad and page up and see if I can find our winners. Let me see.
Not been announced yet.
They've not been announced yet. Oh, thank you. Okay, well, we'll wait for just a second.
Who do they win? A couple people have asked.
Essential Stencil gives away 3 different sets of stencils, each live, that they do with their ambassadors. And then they also do 1 set of stencils during the replay in the first 24 hours. Congratulations, winners. We have Linda Melton, Debbie Privet, and Janice Green. Please email support@essentialstencil.com and say, hey, I was a winner on the Friday Night Live. And they'll get those stencils out to you right away. Appreciate it very much if you guys would follow us over on Cheers to Creativity. We do Tuesday tips, techniques, and teachings every Tuesday, usually at 2. This week we did it early because it was somebody's birthday. But we do all sorts of fun things, and we would love to see you over there. But again, thanks so much. And again, the congratulations, Linda, Debbie, and Janice. Be sure to email support@essentialstencil.com. So hope you had fun with seeing the flowers and the butterflies. So here again are our flowers. Those are the little tulips. There is some of the daisies and asters and the petal flower. There's my little puddle jumper. And that was live on our page yesterday. There's a little butterfly on his tail. Here's a couple more flowers, the sunflower and the rose.
They're all sideways, just so you
I know, because I'm holding them. Oh, but that's what we've got for you for tonight. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'd love to have you follow us over our page. Till I see you again, please be kind, be safe, and cheers. Bye-bye.